Hey y'all, it's Celine and it is time for another garden tour. Okay, so it is the day before Father's Day, and it's been probably 3 weeks since I have done a garden tour. It might have been Memorial Day weekend, so yeah, pretty close to 3 weeks. And so here we go. Things have just really taken off. So the first thing I want to show you, let me turn you around here. I moved one green stalk here, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute. And then I moved another one here because out there it was getting entirely too much sun because most everything that's in here can't take the heat. I've had something chew up my carrots down here. There's like nothing left of them. I mean, no greens anyway left. So that's frustrating. I have been using the heck out of all of this Swiss chard and kale, so that's been great. This is a different kind of basil. It is Aristotle Basil, which I've never had before. It smells exactly like the other basil, like, you know, Italian basil. My radishes are going to seed, but yet they've really done nothing. The radishes themselves, nothing. You know, they're just roots. So I'm just going to leave them. I don't have, because of the shade, I mean, there's almost no sunshine. A couple hours, 3 hours gets to this one bed. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe more kale when this is over with. So we use a lot of that. Tarragon's getting big here. I may have to take that out because I did not know tarragon gets so huge. I'll show you when we go around to the other side. These are the zinnias that I have not transplanted. It just got too hot, but I have transplanted a lot of them. Then I still have some romas and a Chinese sweet pepper here. And I've got a Dr. Weechee in the back and a couple of habanada peppers and a few more romas there that need to be transplanted, but it got too hot on me, and if I transplant them now, they won't make it. It's supposed to get in the high 80s today, but it has been in the 90s with like 105, 110 heat index. So yeah, that's, you know, that's why I'm doing this today, because it's nice out this morning. Okay. This was supposed to be celery. I have had zero luck. Well, no, I won't say zero luck with celery. I do have, in my green stalk over here, I do have a celery coming up here and a celery over there. So I can't say zero luck, and then I'll show you I have a couple more coming up in another spot. And then I have some California Wonders. You know, the peppers that I potted just, or I grew, just are so stunted. So, you know, it's past the middle of June, or right at the middle of June, and these guys are only, what, 4 inches tall, so I don't know if they'll do anything. Got some onions looking good around the edge, and I'm thrilled my chamomile is coming up. I have that coming up in a couple, 3 different places. Just all of a sudden in the last, 2 to 3 weeks, I thought, oh, great, chamomile did come back. I didn't think it did. Got a tomato there. That's a volunteer. No clue what it is. It's probably a cherry tomato or a Juliet, which I love the Juliets. My potatoes, I just have a little bed here, but they're going crazy. Now back to this one. This is actually a frost cloth to keep it from freezing in the fall, late fall. early spring. But the lettuces in here were getting so wilted in this heat. That's why I moved everything back here. Getting so wilty in this heat that I took a chance. I was a little afraid it would make them hotter since it's a frost cloth and protect against cold to keep the heat in. I was afraid I was making a mistake, but I had to do something to keep my lettuce good, and it's beautiful, and it worked. So frost cloth also will work as a cooling shade cloth. So I'm thrilled with that. And that is like a bag type. I took it off before I actually showed it to you. But it's like a big bag that goes over the top with a drawstring bottom. So that's worked out really well for me. And I got those from Amazon. I'll leave a link. And my strawberries are doing great. And as you can see, I mean, it is really sunshiny in other places, but not back behind my house. So everything back here has to be shade tolerant. But it does get a good between 5 and, in the height of summer, it'll get 8 hours. And otherwise, it gets anywhere from 5 to 6 hours. So it's getting 7 or 8 hours right now. And so that's enough for the strawberries. So it's working out well for that. And over here are those little sweet potato slips that I planted 3 weeks ago that were only about 4 inches tall. So they're going crazy. And then this is a passion flower vine. And I am thinking that this sucker is going to be my nemesis, because I've already had to cut it off on top because it was all the way digging itself up inside the soffit. And I am pulling little bits and pieces that are popping out here and there all over this bed, all over around this bed, for instance, right here. And I am just having to pull them up. And I found one across the walkway coming up in this bed this morning. I had no idea it was that intrusive. I had absolutely no idea. So, if you have any suggestions, it's getting ready to flower. And it's not flower. It didn't flower for me last year, so I'm going to let it go till it flowers and see what happens. But if you have any idea how to contain this sucker or get rid of it, I mean, I enjoy it, but if it's going to take over my garden, it's got to go. So any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below, because I would like to hear your ideas on that. Let's go back to the strawberries. Most people's strawberries are ripening right now. Mine are just setting on, and I planted them late, so you know, it is what it is. All right, so on down here is kale, and a few weeks ago, get this little sucker out. A few weeks ago, this was really sparse, and so I threw some more seed down, and it's starting to fill in. And this will go all summer long because of the fact that it's back in the back and better shaded. So here is a volunteer tomato here that I have staked up, and it'll go up over that stake. This is a 10-foot stake, I think. Anyway, yeah, so it'll go up over the top of that. And these are my walking onions. In the last garden tour, I said I thought I might have gotten taken, and I wasn't sure these were walking onions because it looked like they were going to flower. And walking onions don't do that, but they didn't flower. They clustered and put off new shoots. And these new shoots, some of them will cluster, and then they'll get so heavy that they fall over, and then those little clusters of onions will reroot in the ground and put off new plants, and these will just produce and produce and produce. So these they'll be here for years. I'll be giving them away by the end of next year. this is what I saw, thinking that that was going to be an onion scape, when in fact it turned into that. So I'm very pleased with that. Okay, I have planted some, this is garlic, this is regular chives. And I planted regular chives and garlic chives because my chives haven't done anything. Again, that's something that's probably going to take over. But look at my sickly garlic. Now, looks, I've pulled up 2 or 3 already. They did not. This is all one bulb. It doesn't have cloves. It's just a bulb. Isn't that weird? So I'm going to come back and pull those today. But I don't have garlic cloves. I have garlic bulbs. Anybody advise me on what I did wrong, why it didn't make cloves? I planted this late last fall, very late, like in November. And they sprouted right away and had about 4 inches of green. And I mulched it really good to protect them over the winter. And then kind of cleared the mulch off early spring so they could shoot up, and then mulched them again once they did. So I don't know what happened there. And I've got rosemary here. Got some of my onions, which I have topped. And I'm going to freeze dry and powder that. And I have a bunch of onion tops from last year I haven't used, and so I'm going to powder those as well. They make really nice onion powder. There's some more chamomile. I'm very pleased that it's coming back. These are golden beets. And you can see they're just starting to get some size on them. I like golden beets. They're not as earthy as red beets are. I don't care for red beets at all. I think they taste like dirt. So I'm looking forward to these. And then this is what's left of the spinach. I need to come and finish it today. Not much left there. And then my chard is doing great. And I have a couple of volunteer tomatoes here that I have staked. A little waspy guy there. Let's see how tall those stakes are. They will go up over the top of those stakes. And again, my potatoes. So I've got some potassiums there, some marigolds there, I am trying, and I've got marigolds kind of interspersed, but they're not doing great in the ground. They're doing better in their pots. So anyway, that is the backyard kitchen garden. I also have a bunch of tomato plants that I'm going to give to a friend of mine. It's been too hot to transplant, though. I don't know if they're going to make it until it cools off. I have one long sunflower that came up, and I planted several. And then I transplanted some zinnias when nothing else came up over here. Okay, and these are my green beans. I had just planted them, and they had just barely popped out of the ground on the last video, and it goes all the way down to the end of the fence row. They are beautiful. They haven't started blooming yet, but that should happen anytime soon. And then these will just be prolific with green beans. My asparagus, I am kicking myself. I went to a nursery about 60 miles from here, and they had lots and lots of asparagus crowns, and I was going to ask about the price, and then got busy with something else, and I forgot, and I never went back to it, because this has gotten sparse because it got weed eaten, and it didn't all come back. So maybe next spring I will be able to get some more crowns and get this really a thick patch going. Here are my fig trees, which were, you know, that big when I got them this spring. And they are really shooting up. They're looking beautiful. This guy, he's looking sickly. He looked great 3 or 4 days ago, so I don't know what happened. He died on top. I snapped the top of him off because it was dead. Hopefully he'll come back from the bottom. I'm wondering, our electricity went out. This is our whole house generator, and we had a bad storm during the night before last. And the electricity went out, and it was out for, I don't know, 6, 7 hours. And so this was on, and this is much closer, like right there, to that. So I'm wondering if it just didn't fry it. So I moved it, and I don't know, it burns on natural gas. I don't know, fumes coming out of their head. I don't know. But anyway, I've moved it a few feet farther away, and I might move it even a little farther. But yeah, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I just pray it comes back and gets healthy. Alright, so here are a couple of tomatoes. This is a Gardener's Delight. That's a Dr. Ricci. And I've got I planted some chives here with seed. And they're just very sparse, but they're coming up. This whole bed was chives, but nothing came up. So I went ahead and planted other things in it, and then these things came up. So there's that. Oh, and I did put a piece of cattle. Okay. And then here is some lemon balm, which I have a bunch of that in the front yard in front of my house. And this is marshmallow, which I use in my allergy and sinus relief tincture. And some marigolds. Bought a bunch of extra cattle panel pieces. This is Canada crookneck, and it's doing beautiful. These little guys here in the center. These little dudes are Kajari Melons. There's like 6 of them, so I've got about 3 or 4 to give away. And then this is, I lost the name. I'll come over the other side. I've got it tagged on the other side. But it's doing really well. So these are also Canada crooknecks. And again, they're doing just beautiful. And they train up so nicely. Okay. And then these are the ones I couldn't think of. Let's see. These are the tromboni, I think is what they're called. Replicante, that's what it is. Zucchina replicante, which is like the trombone. But anyway, those are doing really nice. Sadly, my St. John's wort did not come back. And then I've got my little blueberries. I've got 4 of these little guys, and some of them are coming out of the shock and some of them are hanging on a little bit longer, but they're doing pretty well actually. They show shock when they turn red, and when they're green, they don't. My 2 bigger ones I've had to cover to keep the birds out of them, and there's no shock with them at all. That didn't last long at all. But here, look, see? A little bit so you can see them. Look at the blueberries. Look at them. Woohoo! I'm so excited. And then the other one is the same. It has quite a few on it as well. And the thing with blueberries is you have to have 2 different kinds of blueberries for them to pollinate and really produce well. So these little ones are Top Hat, and these are Superior, the big ones. I got the big ones from Lowe's. The little ones I got from Baker Creek. Over here, my cukes are doing great. That's Market More, and that is pickling. I think it's called maybe Chicago pickling or just pickling, I'm not sure. But anyway, pickling, those will be the short, fat ones, and the Market More will be the skinnier, longer ones. And these are my favorite. I've not actually grown these before, so we shall see. In my little herb garden that I had to move because of that blasted passion flower plant. So I've got a couple of lavender, some more marshmallow, sage, basil, that Aristotle Basil, and it is flowering already over here. And then thyme, more rosemary, and oregano. Then over here, I have pepper plants, and these are, what kind are they? Just bell peppers. There's a couple of green bell peppers, and then a yellow, and I think that one's a red one. We'll see. Then we have a couple of, I had 3 here, which was, they're entirely too close. But there's that third one is there. But he's really, there we go, really small. And then these are looking much better. These are okra, crimson spineless okra. More pepper plants. I think I counted 24, 25 pepper plants out here. Not counting the little guys in the big bed in back, the raised bed back there. Then I've got carrots and a few more onions that didn't do much. And I have had to cover my cabbage because it's been badly chewed on. So I've got 4 badly chewed on heads of cabbage back here and 4 badly chewed on heads of cabbage up here. But we're getting some nice, pretty new growth where the heads are supposed to come on. It's late in the year and it is hot, so we shall see. We shall see. My echinacea's doing great. We love that. We use that all year long. They are just delicious. I told you I had some celery coming up. I've got 1, 2, that's a leaf, not a plant. So it looks like I've only got 2 coming up there, but I planted that whole thing full of seeds. So I haven't had a lot of luck with that celery seed in germinating. I don't remember where I got it, but I need some new seed. And I hear that you can just buy celery seed from the store, like out of the spice department. Any of those seeds will grow. Of course, I would think you'd have a better chance if it was organic. But if anybody has ever tried that with celery seed, or any other kind of seed for that matter, let me know how it worked out, would you? Because I'm not finding any celery seed anywhere, and although it's too late in the season now, I can do it for fall planting. So let me know what your opinion is on the spice seeds. Here is another really pretty little zinnia. These are Kohlrabi, and again, they came up kind of sparse. I had them planted all the way to here, and they didn't start to here, so they came up pretty sparse this year. Some dill coming up there. A nice dill here that's already heading. You're already seeing dill flowers. And this row is pretty much all different kinds of peppers. Everything from California Wonder to Lunchbox, the little red ones, the little snackable ones, to nata pinos. And I told you about the tarragon. Well, that's tarragon. This is 2nd year tarragon, and it has gone nuts. So, yeah. So anyway, I need to probably take that out of that back bed, but this is just absolutely gone crazy. It's about to bolt, but I wanted to do this garden tour and get that on camera as big as it is. I wanted you to see, because I'm going to whack that all back because I don't want it to bolt. It's gone crazy enough. I don't need it to go to seed and go crazier. Let me give you a different shot of it. It's huge, absolutely huge. I mean, it's fallen over, but when it's standing straight up, like this one here, is probably only 4 or 5 inches shorter than I am right now, and I'm 5'8". So more ground cherries. This is, I don't know whether that's turmeric or horseradish. I think that's horseradish. And then all my tomatoes are looking beautiful. They're doing great. I have super sauce tomatoes here, and they're doing awesome. And I'm holding these guys up with these little tomato clips, and I'll put those in the description below so you can see what they are. They were really cheap. I got 300 of them for, I don't know, 14, 16 bucks, 12 bucks. I don't remember. And then these are bodacious. Those are nice, big, meaty slicers that are not real full of juice and seeds, mostly meat. And then those are made for making sauce. So all of these are great for making sauce. So let's see. Then the last part of it is over here in my pots. These 2 zucchinis, I'm really disappointed in the way the leaves look. I just keep breaking these leaves off, the sickly looking ones. I wonder if these pots are all pots that they're old cattle mineral pots. And a good friend of mine down the street who has cows said this was 2nd and 3rd year cow manure compost. And it's beautiful compost, and everything is just going crazy with it. I mean, all my beds up against the house over there, those are all have some in it. Not, I mean, just a top layering of it. But these are pretty much, that's all this is. And it's just full of compost. And I'm wondering, although the rest of them are not that way, I'm wondering if I did not get a little bit of hot manure here that wasn't quite decomposed long enough. So, because this is the only one doing it, and both plants, actually I have 3 plants, so I have too many in here, but 3 plants, and all 3 of them are doing this, and I'm not seeing any bugs. I don't see any sign of vine borers, and I have been watching daily. I don't find any eggs, nothing. So we shall see. However, it's still putting on new growth. It's getting ready to it's flower. I've got a couple of female flowers going on and some male flowers going on there, getting ready to bloom. So it seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing, so I don't know. Any thoughts? And then those are Genovese and Black Beauty zucchini, by the way. Then over here is yellow summer squash, and I've got several setting on, as you can see. And this one is patty pan or scallop squash, and I've got excuse me, I can't quite see what you're seeing here because the sun's hitting it, but I've got a few setting on there too. So I'm pleased with what's setting on, what's happening, just not pleased with those leaves. All right, then these are, I have no idea what tomatoes those are. Again, those were gifted to me. We shall see. Everything that was gifted to me, though, are heirloom from Baker Creek. So, excuse me, I think I swallowed a bug. But anyway, so I'm confident that I will love them all, but they're going to be a surprise. These, I think, are the purple cosmic something, because the plants have a little bit of purple in them. And I don't know if you can see these tomatoes, but they have a little purple. So anyway, I believe that's what those both are. The same with this one, no clue. We'll find out. It'll be fun. I've got basil here, there, and everywhere. That's popping pretty good. Some places it's not doing so much. And that's basically it, guys. That is the garden. So, it says you're supposed to have your back to the sun when you're filming. I guess that's for your benefit, because it's sure not for mine, because I can't see you on the screen now with the sun hitting the screen. But anyway, that's it. This is, again, mid-June. Everything is just going crazy. It's been in the high 90s this week and incredibly humid. And it is supposed to be in the hundreds next week. That is highly unusual for this time of year in southern Illinois. Normally, we're in the, at best, mid-80s. And, I mean, at most, mid-80s. It usually doesn't get up into the 90s until July, and we might have, you know, just a few days here and there of like 97, 98 degrees, occasional over 100, but it's not normal. This is very early, and we have, so far, we're on like day 8 or 9, and it looks like the forecast in the next 10 days, which is as far out as I can see, is going to be in the high 90s and the low 100s. I think we're supposed to have 105 one day. That's incredibly hot for us. I am probably going to be scarce for the next week or so, because it's going to be hotter than Hades. And I get out early in the morning, and I get out late in the evening, and I am keeping things well watered and weeds pulled and things tied up. I am harvesting greens, and looks like I'm getting woohoo ready to harvest squash soon. I'm really excited. My tomatoes are coming on. So yeah, things are looking pretty. I'm enjoying my garden. I hope you're enjoying yours. If you haven't planted a garden, it's not too late. It's too late for some things, but it's not too late for everything. Do a little research and, you know, throw a couple pots together or whatever you can do and get something growing, guys. This is the time to get serious about learning how to grow food. And at the very least, make sure you're hitting those grocery stores and buying a few extra groceries here and there. Make sure you've got your medicine. Make sure you've got your first aid. Make sure you've got plenty of everything you're going to need for at least a few months. But anyway, that's it, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to be in my community. And please hit that like button below. And I will talk to you on the next video. Love you guys. Mwah!